Here we are for round 15 of the career mode in a wet Malaysia. So here we are now, and we're going to qualify on the intermediates. So coming into this, Vettel has had quite bad luck, of course, having a engine failure in Singapore, and we managed to do a last podium. So it's looking quite good for us in the championship with a 37-point lead. But of course, we just need to bring it home now. And yeah, you can see that the big slide out the first corner drops us to 14th. But we're quickly recovering position. So Malaysia, not one of my favourite tracks, and certainly doesn't suit the Mercedes. So it's going to be quite a hard race for us today. But hopefully we just try to minimise the points lost to Vettel. We could just try to keep ahead of him, and then hopefully win the championship from there. So you can see now we've fought back to 6th place, and it's down to 7th now. And we're going to try to take this corner, but we go on the curb, and we've actually lost the back end, and we've dropped down to 18th. So yeah, not a good qualifying lap at all for us, and we're going to have to restart from the back. We managed to salvage a position in the last corner, but 17th is going to be another really abysmal qualifying. So, yeah, we just ran a bit right onto the curb, and we just lost the back end. So, yeah, here's the starting grid. The Ferraris look out the front row. The Red Bulls actually getting their best qualifying of the season, 3rd and 4th. Bottas 5th, Perez 6th, Ocon 7th, so the Force Indians qualifying well. Massa in 8th, Grosjean and Magnussen in 9th and 10th, so Haas having a really good qualifying. The Toro Rossos are in the 6th grid, and also Pierre Gasly has replaced Sainz, and Sainz has replaced Palmer, but of course their profile pictures aren't separated. You see Sainz down in 15th, so the Renault not doing that well. We're in 17th, which is quite a surprise considering we're in a Mercedes. Van Dorn 18th, and the Saubers once again line up at the rear. So, coming into this race, it should be a 2-stop. That's the conservative strategy. So, yeah, most people should be doing a 2-stop, but we're going to go quite aggressive. We're going to go soft, super soft, super soft. I think quite a lot of people are doing soft, super soft, super soft, soft. So, because we're at the back, we can choose whatever tyre we like, which is sort of an advantage. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to make up a lot of positions. So, we're going to underfuel the car by quite a bit. And, yeah, lights out, and away we go. From 17th on the grid, we get quite a mediocre start. But you can see Alonso gets a bad start, losing about 5 or so positions. We're going to throw it at the inside of Hulkenberg, and we gain about 6 or 7 positions off the line. And yeah, we need to gain as many positions as possible. We're going to hold it side by side with Kvyat, and we're going to dive up the inside of 2 other cars. And you can see Grosjean actually manages to defend from us. Hulkenberg actually gets Magnussen, who around the outside there, but we got both of them up the inside. But we go right, and Hulkenberg gets us, so Hulkenberg's been a big gainer in the opening lap along with us, but we're going to have to tag behind him for a bit. So we are now just following him. And you can see we drop a long way off, so we cut on to the end of lap 1. You can see Raikkonen has set the fastest lap, so from 2nd position he's managed to take the lead. So that's good. That's good for us because, of course, it's taking points off for Vettel. Meanwhile, we're just trying to hound Hulkenberg, and it's not until the end of, the middle of lap 2 where we're going to dive up the inside, and we're going to get our revenge on him, and we're up into 10th place. So, already up into a points position, which is quite good. Of course, just having to pick off one at a time. You can see Grosjean going really slowly there, so I think he's got a problem, because, I mean, yes, we have more downforce than him, but we shouldn't be gaining that much on him. And you can see, Hulkenberg gets past him relatively straightforward. Confirming my suspicion. But you can see, I think that's Bottas there, who's had a little bit of an incident. Now he's holding us up this train. We're going to throw it up the inside of these 3 cars, and that's a hell of a move. We get 3 in 1, because of course our teammate holding them up, and it helped us because it bunched them up, and it allowed us to dive bomb them. So that's us up into 6th place. So yeah, it's been a really good opening 5 laps, but you can see Bottas definitely doesn't have an issue because he's right away overtaking Massa, who's also had a good start. He overtakes Massa around the outside, and that's him up into 4th place. So, yeah, hopefully we can actually beat Bottas because we're on a different strategy. And we've come a long way through the field as we're going to get Massa now. So, basically, we're in the top 5, which is the Red Bull of Ricciardo, Bottas, and the 2 Ferraris. So, basically in home territory again. You can see actually we're going to inherit the lead for a bit, but Raikkonen pits, and he's only just behind us. So Raikkonen, he just shows a Ferrari pace around here, and right by the end of the lap, he's already pressuring us. So Raikkonen is just shown exemplary pace throughout this race, and he's a hell of a long way ahead of Vettel. So yeah, it's been a new Raikkonen. Of course, in the real Malaysian Grand Prix, he did actually challenge Hamilton for pole, but then of course he couldn't actually start the race. But we know he's good around this track, and you can see now we actually rejoined, I think, just ahead of Ocon, but we're going to skip on a bit later now. and quite a lot of people have pitted him into 7th. But you can see Perez and Hulkenberg have retired in the space of about 10 seconds. So unfortunately for them, but we're gonna meanwhile close up on Ricciardo, and that's us up into P6, but it's probably more like a let P4 because Verstappen and Ocon are yet to pit. And talking of Verstappen, he's pit and he's actually going to come out just behind Ricciardo. As you can see there, Ricciardo just slots in, and Ocon's now in the pits. He's probably going to rejoin well behind them. But Verstappen on a one stop, just behind his teammates, so that's quite scary. And you can see Vettel's pitted, and he's not far behind us. And actually, Verstappen's come out ahead of Vettel as well. So Verstappen on the one stop, which I didn't think was possible, along with Ocon, they're in really good positions. And Verstappen right now in a net P2, we're going to re-inherit second place because Raikkonen, even so his pit is 9 seconds up the road. So yeah, his pace is just being ridiculous. He's getting over a second a lap on us. And yeah, he really deserves to win this race. And of course, it's going to take points off of Vettel. But you can see now we rejoin in 5th. So we got a hell of a... We actually rejoined just in front of Ocon. So we got a hard task to actually get through the field again. And you can see setting green lap times. But it's not enough because it's still not going purple. Even so, we're on fresh super softs. So once again, testimony to the Ferrari pace. Meanwhile, on lap 26, we can see actually Verstappen's been caught by Bottas, so he's down to 4th. And this is our chance of getting in the top 4. Of course, we dropped off the back of Bottas. We haven't been able to close in and off on him. But on lap 27, we might not even get to Verstappen. So it hasn't been that good a drive since lap 5. Actually, losing positions to Verstappen on the last lap, on the last corner. We couldn't get Verstappen. And we had to dive Grosjean up the inside, who was holding Verstappen up. But we didn't quite manage to get to him. And we're going to have to settle for P5. So yeah, not the most interesting race after lap 5. I mean, I really didn't have the pace to compete with the top runners. It's not one of my favourite tracks, and against 100 AI, I really need to have an advantage on the track over them in order to benefit. But you can see Gasly, on his first points appearance, he actually gets 10th place. So, testimony to him, he's had a really good result today. Meanwhile, you can see it's two Finns on the pole again, but on the podium again, but it's a Ferrari one too. And Ferrari definitely seen the stronger team towards the back end of the season. So, yeah, looking at the results, it's a Ferrari 1-2 from Mercedes 3-5. Verstappen will be in the middle and 4th. Ricciardo recovers to 6th. Ocon 7th. Massa 8th. Kvyat, Gasly 9th and 10th, so it's a good day for the Toro Rossos. Haas in the end slipped down, but Carlos Sainz with 12th place outperforms his teammate who actually DNF'd in the end. 2 DNFers, and you can see there's a whole bunch of people who are lapped, all the way up to Lance Stroll in 13th. So Raikkonen really had the pace today. And you can see as a result, he's moved up to joint 3rd with Bottas. Meanwhile, Vettel's closed us in the bin, but it's not too much. Looking a bit down the order, you can see Perez a long way ahead of the midfield runners. And yeah, Verline Van Dorn, of course, got points last time out. And looking into the constructors, it will be Mercedes who hang on to the lead, but we are being closed in by Ferrari. Red Bull again in no man's land, so with Force India and Williams. But there's quite a big battle towards the bottom places. But that's going to be it. See you next time in Japan. It should be up shortly.